Shalom. All praise and glory go to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yashai, Warakakutash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Kapar, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Ramlab, and the Shalom to the sincere Achim that I push this word of sincerity and in truth. Before I continue, I want to say that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel that the Bible speaks about, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, and the people that live in the land of Israel today, they go back to the Khazarians, which go back to the Amalekites, which is the chief head tribe of the nation of Esau Edom, and the people that are called white, European, Caucasian, Australian, American, they all go back to the nation of Esau Edom, which is the only nation upon the planet Earth that will not receive mercy from the Heavenly Father. With that being said, these videos are made to wake up our people, to lead them back to the Heavenly Father, because He's passing heavy judgment upon the planet Earth soon. Now, as y'all can see on the screen, this is the when you read the caption over there, it says, "When did you know they were selling you?" Then the little girl says 2 days ago. And this is basically a documentary, because I look at a lot of documentaries, I like to look at informative things that, that are happening around the world that we might not know, And as y'all know, since Esau had his military occupation in Afghanistan, it only went downhill, because you have the Taliban over there now, which keep a certain form of order, which I believe is Sharia law. And other Muslims be telling me that's not even in the Quran or in the Hadith, They just keep that as basically the laws, the law of the land. And it also says that this also shows you that these things, when you look at them, actually, they keep you very humble. They keep you very down to earth, It takes you out of the bubble that we're in, actually, because this world that we living in, we're functioning in is not real, man. It's not real. The Western world is not real, man. These feminists, these homosexuals, and all these type of things. These things exist, of course, but it's not benefit. It doesn't function in a normal society. And being spoiled, being how do you say that? Being entitled, that doesn't work, man. When you look at these videos, these documentaries, that doesn't work at all. Everyone is hustling, trying to make money to survive. These people have to sell their children because winter is coming and they need money to pay for warmth. Otherwise, they'll starve to death. They'll die they'll freeze to death, man. Because Afghanistan, I believe, is a very cold country as well in the winter. So yeah, and but I was thinking a little bit further, of course. Spiritually, you be thinking like, hey, this is what happened to us, right? Didn't the nations sell us into captivity? Now, slowly but surely, the Heavenly Father is making that happen to them. So that's the other side I was meditating on, But let me get my Bible real quick. Show you that that's Bible prophecy. Especially for the new listeners, of course. Where's my Bible? It's right here. And it says, let's go into it. Right? So this is this is Deuteronomy 32 and 7. No, it's not 32, man. No, it's not 32, Salaki. So it says over here, God. So this is Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. You know? And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. So let me start at 1. All right? This is Deuteronomy 30:1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. So before we went into captivity, it was already prophesied that these things would happen, right? That the curses would come upon us and all of those things, you know, because you know, so before we went into captivity, it was already prophesied that we would get cursed and all those things, you know. And it says, and the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thine seed to love the Lord thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. So that's the new covenant, of course. And we get that circumcised heart that we can't no longer go off. You know, this is verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. You see, so these curses that it was talking about, you know, it's talking about our children will be sold and stuff as bondmen and bondwomen, right? Over here it says Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, you know. That's the way the Heavenly Father chose to transport us to other countries. You know, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, you know. So this is just a preview of what is to come to these other nations. You know, they're already selling their children for because of poverty, because they can't sustain themselves in where they live at, you know. They have to sell their children, man. That's how crazy it is, man. You know, and the price is like €500, $500, you know, or 15. But the parents, of course, they want 1,500, you know, because otherwise they can't sustain themselves in the winter, you know. So otherwise they're gonna die, and the other children they have. So they have to sell one of the other children, man, and it's crazy. But that's what happens. Don't forget, these things happen to us, you know. They sold our children. They gave our children as alligator bait. That's even worse. They raped our children, you know. They killed our children in front of us. All these type of things happen to us, and now it's happening to these other nations. You know, they have to sell their children, but soon Esau is gonna have to sell his children. You know, these things is gonna happen in Europe, probably even in America. You know, it's gonna be crazy. The crisis and all these type of things. If you're not a disciplined individual and know what he's doing, you're gonna have a hard time. You know. So yeah, this is just a short video. You know. So with that, I want to say all praise and glory go to the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Eshai, and Shalom.